I don't think I want to end it because we just started it.
But that is promising. That's what it's showing you.
Oh, yes. Yes.
We're on the right board.
We most certainly are.
All right, and we will get this going in 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Okay, before we begin, all systems good?
Yep, everything looks great.
All right. Just going to play the intro here, and then we can sort of dive in, okay?
Please. Good evening on Friday, August 28th, 2026. Back here again for another books panel. And as always, thank you so much if you're tuned into the live on YouTube, and thank you to those of you listening later on the podcast. As always, I am joined by my co-host, Ali Musa.
Thank you guys for hopping in on this Friday evening here tonight.
Always a pleasure to be back again with you and with our panelists. So, as we begin these things, and have been doing for a while, I'd like to start off with a question. Tonight's question being, what makes you want to read a book? That can be the premise, a recommendation. What is the thing that will make you gravitate to something? And I'm going to start with Paul.
What makes me gravitate towards a book or want to read a book? I think it comes down to a lot of things. It isn't just one thing. Sometimes it's a topic, which is interesting. Sometimes it can be a topic for me. It can also be just if I hear a recommendation. Sometimes you see those lists, top 10 books of the year or someone's personal list of favorite books about a certain subject. I want to try that. It can be a very, very things. If I have a original interest in it, or if I know nothing about it, but want to try and read it, hear more about it, and to expand, make an effort to expand, know something about a topic I have no knowledge in. It's varied, but it's not just one thing for me. It can be it's a bunch of things. It depends on the situation. And most obvious worst thing of all, being in a library. When I'm in a library and I see in a certain section, oh, I saw that one looks good. That one looks good. What I do is I take pictures of the book. Okay, that's on my list now. I'm going to go through my list. That's a book I'm going to get out when I get some time. So it can be varied reasons.
Just the sheer volume of what's in front of you in a library.
It's overwhelming, my friend. It's overwhelming.
Well, that's great. It's very cool that it's many different things.
Yeah.
And what about you, Sienna?
Thank you, Makara. Yeah, no, that's awesome, Paul, that it's, a variety of different things that would help you gravitate towards a particular book. For me, it could be, maybe I want to learn more about said topic, if it's in like a nonfiction, for example. And, the synopsis, sometimes a good synopsis might, I'll read the synopsis and I'll go, hey, this helps me to, hey, this, entices me to read this book. Hey, this sounds like a good synopsis. Sometimes it could be friend recommendations, or if they know that I like fiction, for example, and fiction with a lot of humor in it, or if they know that I'm interested in a specific topic, they'll say, hey, maybe you'll like this book. And so lots of different things there for me too that gravitate me towards a specific book. Maybe it's something I want to learn more about, like Derek Paravicini. Learn more about his music, and I've definitely had the chance to hear him play on YouTube and whatnot. Never seen him live, but wow, go check him out on YouTube as well. He is an amazing musician.
Mm.
I'll put a link in the show notes, I think.
Please do, yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, do you have... Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Lynn.
Well, I was just going to ask you, Sienna, is it the TEDx clip that you're talking about? I accidentally stumbled on TEDx Warwick 2013, a YouTube video. It's about 21 minutes long.
Wow.
Is that what you are referring to, or did you find something else?
My apologies. What was the name of the TEDx video you
Well,
found?
presumably Warwick is where it was held, but TEDx Warwick 2013. And the title of it is, the book title, In the Key of Genius, Derek Paravicini and Adam Ockelford.
Ockelford, yeah.
And it's 21 minutes and 42 seconds to be exact.
I may have seen that video.
It was wonderful. It was good. And he is an amazing pianist. Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to ask you if it was
no worries. Yeah, it is the same. It is definitely the same. I seem to remember watching that video a while back, and yep, definitely the same musician. And the same piano teacher, Adam Ockelford. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Lynn, why don't you tell us what makes you gravitate toward specific books?
Well, sometimes not so much reviews, although occasionally I'll read a review. But word of mouth, if it's someone whose taste I trust, or sometimes word of mouth. Sometimes it's a genre or a particular era or topic. I'm really interested in reading fiction or historical fiction or nonfiction in regards to the two world wars. For example, so sometimes I just, if I pass by a bookstore, sometimes I just wander into a bookstore, rifle through the areas that I'm interested in, jot down names, titles of books, and then, seek them out at the library or whatever. But I think I sort of focus on a genre or an era, like the World Wars, and then I just sort of, root around, and if a friend of mine says, oh, by the way, Lynn, I know you like reading about women's contributions during World War II. I just stumbled on this book. I think you might like it. So I'll jot down the title and I'll look it up. So kind of like that. I keep a little book. You'll laugh. I keep a little book with titles that I have, discovered in these ways, things that I, would like to read in the future, all organized by category, just a little notebook, but I tell you, it is jam-packed. I don't think I could read all those books in a lifetime. But I value that little book is my lifeline. Because if I'm stuck and I don't know what I'd like to read, I'll think, okay, I'll just crack open my my little paperback book with all the titles I've been interested in, and I'll go from there.
Hey Lynn, how many books, how many titles are in your book? I keep a list of my own books to read. I want to read. How many titles? How many? I'll tell you later on how many. But how many titles do you have listed? What's the number?
Well, that is a good question. I would say several dozen. In fact, at this point, it might be over 150 titles.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous.
Oh
And
yeah.
I'll make, if somebody has told me about the book, or if I've rifled through it at the library or a bookstore, I'll actually make some little notes about what
Mm-hmm.
has attracted me to that book. And that's helpful when I crack it open to look for something new to read. But yeah, there are dozens.
You're the first person I've met who has who keeps a TBR list of books they want to read, books they want to read, and books they've read. I have both because that's the kind of person I am. I should get out more often.
Yes.
Yes, my yeah, exactly. So how about you guys? You guys keep a TBR list of things you want to read? Sienna or Makara or Allie. I'm whatever. I'm not the host here, okay?
No worries. Apologies for my microphone.
On the air. I'm trying to take over the program on the air. In a bold gesture. This is how you have a media moment, okay? This is what you need, okay?
Well, we're all too Canadian. We don't want to cut each other off. So when you didn't have someone
Yes,
specifically,
Come on, Paul. I enjoy my media style, right?
But yeah, no worries. But yeah, sorry about that. My internet's been in and out.
Oh no, don't worry. Just keep going.
But I like the idea, Lynn, that you mentioned, and Paul, about having a little book or a little list. And something like Goodreads is good for that as well.
Right.
Shelving all your
Right.
books that you've read and those that you want to read. I think it's a really neat idea.
Yep.
I agree with you, Sienna, and I did start making a list on Goodreads. But the thing about me, and I've always been this way. I'm a journal keeper because it's ridiculous. I have favorite pens.
Oh.
And for most of my life, I've, written a journal, and this started when I was very young. So there's something about, instead of using electronics to record what I've read or what I would like to read, I actually somehow I enjoy writing the title down on paper. It's this thing I don't know what it is, but I just like scrolling across the page. Now, mind you, sometimes I can hardly read it later because I'll do it very quickly or something, but what did I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah, I like the feel of paper. I like the feel of the pen moving across the page.
Yeah, I get that.
I think Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No,
You're so polite, my God. We'll never get this program off.
So Canadian.
We'll never get this program off the air. Come on. Conflict here.
Oh boy. No, I totally get that. And I think if I actually read, I remember when I used to read Braille, like actual paperback Braille books.
Oh my. you honestly, just listening to that makes me tired. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry.
Right? No, but the days when we didn't have Braille displays and computers, and computers for me were very.
Oh, me too.
Were
Actually,
introduced early on, but I resisted technology for as long as I could.
So did I.
In elementary school.
So did I.
And then
That is incredible coming from both of you, I have to
No,
say.
yeah, no, and I remember this
I'm
well.
shocked.
Okay, I remember this very well.
Yes, and it's
That
just so
in-
neat to see that we went through the same
Oh, okay, yeah.
experiences.
So, I remember back in 2003,
Yes.
I always said to people, quote, I want to know nothing about computers, quote. No, I'm serious. That is exactly what I said. And I remember it to this day. But you know what I sometimes think, though? And I really
What's
do think
that?
this sometimes.
What's that?
And feel free to comment on this, guys. That what if that were to be the case for me? Like, what would things have been like for me? What would things be like today if that were to be the case at that time? And I do know a couple of people that are in that boat, actually, today. What do you think? Do you think I wonder, I really do. Sometimes I think about that, what things would have been like. What things would be like for me today if I had actually continued on that particular path.
You never. It's the path not taken, right? It's the path not taken. That could apply to any situation. It's what would you done if you had done this?
True.
But it could have been better.
Mhm.
It could have been worse. Maybe no difference at all, right? It's like it's once you change upset the strand of the timeline. One event has changed. Everything going forward is different, right? For
It
better
is.
for better or for worse.
It
Butterfly
is.
effect.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
No, it is. I
man.
agree with that. But I mean, but if I look back, right, and I feel like it would have honestly accomplished me not, like, I don't want to say use the word nothing, but I feel like it wouldn't have accomplished me not that much if I had continued on that route of not wanting to learn and learn computers.
You might have found something else that you did want to learn, though, in place of it.
Well, I don't know about that so much. I don't
what
know
makes you
about...
say that?
Pardon?
What makes you say that?
Because there wouldn't have been as many opportunities. And especially today, with technology moving as fast as it is, that I find now that what I'm finding myself doing is keeping up as best as I can and seeing how they fit into my workflow. Whereas, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just actually wanting to. I didn't want to cut you off mid-thought there, but I
Well, you should have.
didn't have a chance to finish what I wanted to add.
Okay, I want to hear. Okay, go ahead.
So, a couple of comments. One in regards to, and they kind of segue into each other. But one of the things that I've noticed. One of the things that I've noticed is that, before the days when I used to before the days I started computers, my I don't want to know anything about computers thought kind of stopped in 2001. So I was in grade 9 at that time when I had a really good vision resource teacher who convinced me to use computers. And then, I was getting all my books on computer, through CELA, which was then the CNIB library. But what was really interesting is that when I was reading Braille books, I would love, and they would all come with like string. I don't know if any of yours did, Ali or Makara, but like the books would come with like these little string bookmarks
Ah, yes.
that were like attached to the cover of the book.
Remember the thermoform paper?
Oh, yes.
Oh my goodness, I couldn't stand that.
I like the regular paper better.
Yes.
But one of the satisfying things was being able to take that bookmark and just, put it in and then take it out and know where I left off. And I don't know, it's just so
But see,
satisfying.
with digital, it makes that piece easier.
And with digital, it definitely makes that piece easier. And now it's interesting that you mentioned, Ali, what would it have been like if I hadn't learned computers?
Well, for myself even, I was asking that. So go ahead.
I would go absolutely nuts nowadays.
That's what I mean.
Without being able to use a computer, even for something as simple as, like, even using my iPhone or my Android phone, or now my Mantis. I've got it hooked up to my guitar amp here so that I can listen to books, my CELA books at least, from it. And just, having these technological ways of reading a book, whether it's in Voice Dream Reader, whether it's in Audible, it just makes life so much easier for me. And whereas for someone who's sighted, I can see why, they would still gravitate more towards the physical book. It's the same thing as people who write handwritten letters. I can appreciate it from the visual standpoint of it. But for me, if someone's gonna write me a letter and mail it, it has to be typewritten, because even if I was to receive a handwritten letter, I wouldn't be able to read it.
But see, that's it. Right? But I'm talking about in terms of the opportunities for me.
Oh, absolutely! It really does open the door.
I mean,
in a lot of ways.
I don't know if you heard me ask that.
Learning,
If I hadn't learned, if I still had that same attitude? That I want to learn nothing about computers. What would things be like today?
Yeah, it would feel limiting.
I think it would have been.
And I know people nowadays who are in their 80s and they're like, man, I wish I would have learned computers. I wish I would have, taken the time to learn. And they're seeing how much harder it is to, access information.
Oh, that, yes, it's harder.
Share information. It's, I don't know where I'd be without the computers and the smartphones.
Yeah. Well, I think it's about time to get into this month's book.
It is. Or are we wanting a quick commercial break, or are we wanting to dive right in?
We can go right in.
Commercial free.
Commercial free. So this month's book is In the Key of Genius, The Extraordinary Life of Derek Paravicini by Adam Ockelford. And as it was Sienna's pick, I will start with you before we open up the broader discussion, and then anyone can jump in as they like.
It was definitely a good read. I'm glad I got to read it. I had heard of Derek Paravicini, and I knew he was autistic, um, and I knew that he was blind, of course, but didn't really know too much about him. A friend of mine had said to me, you know what, this musician, you should really check him out on YouTube and whatnot. He's got a YouTube channel, a Facebook channel, and I said I wanted to learn more about him. So I found out that Adam Ockelford, his piano teacher, had written the book, and it was very interesting about his early experience with the piano and how he would, use his body to like pick out melodies and stuff like that, and how he would, he just loved the piano so much that he would, like, when they took him to the RNC, the RNIB college, the RNC, to meet Adam Ockelford, and how Adam was on his he was in a lesson, and Derek just like bolted over the piano and over to the piano and took over, and just to see like how far he's become, like how far he's come, and he's had the experience of playing with orchestras, and it's interesting to see how music connects him, how he's able to connect to people through music. With many people with autism, it is very difficult to connect with people. I mean, people do connect with others in so many different ways, and music is his way of really connecting with people. I also watched a documentary a long time ago. If you look up Derek Paravicini on 60 Minutes, Leslie Stahl, I believe it was, did a documentary on him, and wow, like just it's amazing how, I mean, yes, he can play music, but how music really helps him to connect with the world, to connect with the people around him.
That's how I actually knew him. That's how I knew Derek Paravicini. I remember when I heard the book mentioned to me, the character sounded very familiar. I said, I think I've seen this guy before. And I actually saw, so many years ago, on 60 Minutes, when Leslie Stahl did her feature with Paravicini and his family. And yeah, it was an amazing story. Also, so I was familiar with the story in the sense of I'd heard about it. But the book was interesting because it gives a little more detail. The stats. I was doing some research on this whole thing, on this story, and I came across some people were complaining that the story. Some people complained about the writing style, and I thought people said it had no style. And I thought you don't need a style. The story itself is a story. The story is the style. It's Paravicini's story. If Paravicini could write a book, this is probably he probably want it told by the person who was one of the people closest to him, his teacher. And I think that it captured it well. So the style itself is not particularly engaging, but the story itself is the part that engages the reader. It's how this young man who was born premature with the type of retinopathy back then, which could be because of oxygen levels during incubation, which can be resolved nowadays in today's medicine, but also in the fact that he's dealing with autism, so disabilities, and here he has this enormous gift which is very impressive in my opinion. It makes a mark. The book makes a mark. So maybe the writing style may not be the most captivating, but the story is captivating, and that alone,
Mhm.
it doesn't neither adds nor detracts from the story itself. And of course, a good touch of humor. Can I just say for the record, the best quote in the entire book? Hey, Diana, want to touch my wart? I mean, it's just okay. Now, context. There's context
Yeah,
here. I gotta put context in this whole story. There's context. Read the book. You'll see what I mean. I'm not being
yeah, yeah.
okay. It's the best line. It's the book. It's the line that stands out in the entire book. It really is. So, uh, but one thing is also clear that in 1979, early 80s, there was not a lot of resources. They were making the stuff. They were making it up as they go along. I thought the resources were
Mhm.
rather sparse for someone like Derek, and kids like Derek, which is not unusual here in Ontario. Same thing at the time. Back then, late 70s, early 80s, the resources were not there, so they had to almost like make it up as they go along. They had to create a new
Mhm,
system. And I thought that was impressive too. That's something I think
mhm,
the author did a good job pointing out.
Mhm.
mhm. Paul, I would agree with you. The writing style, whatever, it didn't. It in fact it didn't really. I had no opinion about that. I didn't even think about how it was written, the style, or whatever, because for the same reason that you stated, it's such an incredibly captivating story.
Hmm.
And that this young fellow, he had autism and so on. But it's the journey they took together.
Hmm.
The focus is on the characters, the challenges, the journey, not so much the diagnosis, although as a background, of course, it makes the story pretty amazing. But I agree with what you said.
Hmm.
It's not you know that this young fellow um has special needs. You know that he is autistic and blind, but that sort of fades into the background when you realize all you have to do is listen to him play, and
Hmm.
it is just absolutely stunning. But even the way that it's described, you don't have to see the TEDx or the 60 minutes
Hmm.
program, because the author has certainly gotten that point across.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. I'd read it again. I think it's a
Hmm.
Yeah.
marvelous,
Yep.
wonderful story.
And that's it. It's the story that speaks for itself.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good way of putting it. Hmm.
Absolutely, because even when you said that, Paul, my first question was, what do you mean? Like, what did that person mean by the writing style? Because
Hmm.
I feel like to add
Hmm.
any more literary embellishments or whatever you want to
Hmm.
call them
Sure.
would have done a disservice, because then it would feel like you're sensationalizing the story more, which it didn't require, because the author, as you've been saying and as Lynn has said, conveys it so effectively. Even it's impressive to me how he got all of the facts and all of the stories from day one, and so
Hmm.
Hmm.
detailed in, like, this is how his mind would have worked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
These are the things
yeah.
that he was exhibiting, and just to see, and it goes to show you that even when there weren't resources, and there still aren't in a lot of cases,
Hmm.
or they're not given the proper resources, whatever the situation might be, funding or just not having the right support system, it's as simple as, okay, what's the situation? And what does this specific child need?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. What a circumstance. What circumstances, right? Like these two people came together. What were the odds of that? I mean, that part of the story is wonderful too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What are the odds that, this Adam Ockelford, he he and Derek met and this wonderful thing happened. What were the odds of that? It's
I
pretty,
mean,
it's
who would
pretty
have
amazing.
thought? Yeah.
Yes, yeah, well, exactly.
And Adam really believed in Derek, and it just goes to show in the story that who would have thought that they'd embark on this journey together, travel the world together,
Mm-hmm.
having Derek play music, and like it's wow, like you never would have thought.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's absolutely, to me, it's absolutely extraordinary.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And as you say, when you listen to the music, his performances, it is extraordinary. It just, where does this gift come from? And how, of all things, he found connection to the piano. It's a very heartwarming story, and it's got with what, and one thing I want to mention, because I know we talked about the book last month for Disability Pride Month in July. One thing I found was it avoided the stereotypes, the usual.
Yes.
They avoided the courageous disabled person overcoming all obstacles. No, he's not. He's living with his obstacles. He's living with his autism. He's not overcoming. He's living with it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's living with his ability. That's not.
That's
The naive view of when you say you're overcoming
Mhm.
disability. No, he's overcoming attitudes. That's not the way. He's living with his disabilities, and he's living and
Yeah.
doing quite successful at it. And this book, we a few months ago we were talking about how the writing style. One thing the author did not do was engage in that kind of lazy, in my opinion, lazy stereotype. And I
Yeah.
thought how refreshing.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
This is the guy.
Absolutely.
This is the kid who's a gift. Yes, despite these disabilities he have, it's not. They don't make what he does more extraordinary. It just adds to this. It's just part of the story, and that's I think that's
Yeah.
what struck me with this book
Mhm.
is that he avoided that. He avoided that,
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
that's
Mhm.
refreshing. We need more of that.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
I
I
agree
think
with you, Paul. Yeah.
you got it bang on there.
Once in a while I
Absolutely.
get it right. Once in a while I get it right. I do some rehearsal. I rehearse and avoid motivational speakers. I'm okay.
Yeah, no, I wholeheartedly agree with what you said. Absolutely. Hmm. Hmm.
Oh, we know what we need. How about you, Allie? What do you think? You've been very quiet here, Allie.
Yeah, I've been listening.
Makes you wonder. Oh, you've been listening. Oh, of course you've been listening. We know. And now this is when one of the panelists takes over the show. What about?
No, I think Makara kind of took everything over. I think.
Yeah, I think she did too.
Yeah, I think my job. Okay, you know what? Starting next month, I think my job's done here.
Yeah, the Makara Slobodian universe now. Guess what we got?
Yes. Well, I'm gonna change. I'm gonna change the name to just the Makara Media Network.
Ooh, that sounds really good. That sounds really good.
And the Ali
I like
Musa
that.
show just goes away in its own network.
We'll put you on YouTube somewhere. Don't worry about it. We'll find some place on YouTube. Don't worry. Makara Media Monolith. There you go.
Yes,
Ooh,
the
3N,
Makara Media
triple N.
Network. How does that sound, Makara?
Slobodian Network.
Yeah, we'll call Triple M. We'll call it the Triple M Media Productions. There you go.
Yeah. Well, what do you think of this? You like the idea? Would you like the idea? I
I'm
step back
joking.
to my own thing and I hand this to you.
This is how it all. This is how it ends now, okay, guys. This is how the whole thing falls
What do you
apart right
think?
here.
What do you
Just
think?
blowing the entire thing up.
What do you
into a
think?
cliff.
What do you think?
A common joke becomes a sad
What do you
reality.
think,
Don't
Makara?
you?
You like this idea? I'll give it to you starting in
No.
September.
You know I couldn't do it without you.
Well, I know. I give you all the training. I get you started. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, what have I started?
Nah, I like it. I like it when I like it better the Musa Slobodian Network and the books panel being a part of the Musa Slobodian Network.
Because remember, the Ali Musa show does have its following. You see.
It does.
It does.
My
It's
goodness,
the backbone.
it's the spine of the universe itself.
You know what though? I'm following all the shows and I'm proud of that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but I think though I think it was the writing style though that I mean that I liked, and his teaching style too of how he got him to play. Like, I think it was really, I feel like the whole thing was interesting.
Can you elaborate on that a bit?
Oh no.
He
The whole
didn't
thing-
study that hard there.
No, you're right.
He didn't study. Hey, next time, take notes, Allie. Take notes. It always helps. Makes things so much easier.
Oh well, okay, McKay, this is now okay. Okay, starting next month.
No. I would love to hear more particulars of what you found interesting.
Okay, you're gonna be the new host next month. Well,
No, I'm not trying to take anything over. I promise.
no. But I'm giving it to you.
Hey guys, we shouldn't discuss this our business in public. You guys,
No, it's okay. I don't mind.
but we do.
Ugly
But we do.
things.
But we do.
Oh yeah. No, like
Oh,
you know
boy.
he. I feel like just his. I feel like it was the style, the teaching style of how that kind of went. I don't really have any more to say on that.
Somebody once said. I saw a review about this book. Someone said it reads like a report at times. It reads like a report. I'm not so sure. Maybe at parts of it does. I think
Yeah.
at the beginning it reads like that. One thing I did find about the book that was interesting, how little the parents were involved. So it seems like how little mention they get. It's mostly the nanny who's pushing it. The parents are like, where are they? You know what I mean? Like they're almost on the side, on the fringes. The parents.
Yeah.
That was an impression I got. I mean, I could be wrong, but I thought that was an impression. Like the book really highlights the nanny, the grandma. But what about the parents? Like they're mentioned, but as time goes on, they become less and less part of the story. So it seems.
Do you think it's because they're what I would have interpreted borderline sort of aristocratic?
I never thought about that. That's actually that's something that I never considered. Why would you
You know
think?
what?
Why would you think that?
That's
Why would you say that?
interesting.
Because the impression that it kind of gave was that they have this whole estate and they have stables and there's all these things and even some of their relations or family members, it's a lord, it's a this, and actually because they made reference to the last name Parker Bowles, I was wondering and I
Camilla, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
right.
That did cross my
Yes.
mind. Are they related?
Yeah.
they are. She
They are?
is
Are they?
his
They're related to
aunt
them.
by marriage.
Wow. That is interesting. That is interesting.
Yeah.
But I never thought about that. The aristocracy type thing. It's not. I mean, it's not the kind. It's not the. Not. It's not unheard of. You know, the aristocracy being, with that kind of attitude and all, especially in the among the aristocracy. But I just found it interesting how the parents' input or involvement in the story sort of fades as the story goes on, and it becomes more Nanny and Adam Ockelford, the author.
Mm. That's true.
It makes you wonder why, but it's just I don't know. Then again, as the Derek gets older, he becomes more of a more deciding his own his own fate, his own decisions, or at least he has more people helping making decisions beyond just his parents. But I just wonder about that.
Mhm. I kind of wondered about it too, but
Hmm.
I dismissed it from the.
Okay, we'll
Well,
dismiss it from. We won't go any further then.
yes, yes. That's all I'm going to say.
You dismiss it. Why did you dismiss it? Why did you dismiss it? I'm just curious. Why did you dismiss it?
Well, it did, sort of, concern me. I did kind of wonder, but then, I kept reading, and just somehow stayed totally focused and enthralled,
Hmm.
with the relationship um, between Adam and the young boy, and and his development as a
Mm.
musician. I don't know. I just kind of somehow refocused uh, on the story that was unfolding,
Hmm.
which to me was, as I mentioned, as we've mentioned, was so enthralling, so wonderfully
Hmm.
positive, and so on, that's stayed my focus as my
Okay.
focus somehow. But now that you mention it, yes, I do wonder. I do
It's just
wonder.
something. It's just something that caught my attention. But hey, um, yeah. Again, it doesn't take away from the book at all. It just
No,
it
no.
just it's just something that caught my that I
Yes.
noticed.
Yeah.
However, the book itself. I mean, how much can you fit in a book? I mean, you have to focus on a certain story, and the story is entirely Derek. As he gets older, he becomes more the focus of the story rather than the parents.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. What did other people feel about that?
It's interesting. Like it was kind of um, concerning because I thought, most parents, I don't know, like it, it's interesting because a lot of, I shouldn't say most, but a lot of parents with children with disabilities, they'd be a little bit, um, they would be a little bit, I don't know how to put it, protective of their kids, and
Yes.
Hmm.
maybe not be as encouraging. Um, it could be a sense that they're not involved, like they're less and less involved, but it could be that, hey, maybe they're encouraging him to you know go on the road and
Hmm.
and play music. It could be they're encouraging him. It could also be, you know that they've seen how Adam is teaching him, and they trust the care that he's being given in order to thrive. I don't know. It's I did notice it, but there's so many ways of interpreting the fact that the parents' involvement is less and less.
Hmm.
Um, but it's interesting because I know that there's another gentleman, um, and he is also blind and has severe autism. His name is Rex Lewis Clack, and his mom is with him like for every performance. You
Hmm.
know, um, so it's interesting to see that Derek's parents aren't as involved as say Kathleen is for her son Rex. And I mean, I wonder, is it, you know, because of the aristocracy? I don't know. Like it's really hard to pinpoint what could be. Like those are just possibilities, but you know, it's very hard to pinpoint what could be the reason.
It's one of,
That's
it's a
true.
question that makes you wonder what happened.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I guess you don't want to take away the focus of the story. Who knows? Who knows? I think it was mentioned earlier. The aristocracy, the aristocracy of any country sees disability differently. Who
Mm-hmm.
knows? Who knows? We don't. It's not mentioned, and it's. But I noticed that other reviewers did point that out, and I noticed it as well. That nanny takes a far greater role going forward than does the parents.
Mm-hmm.
So it seemed in the way way it's written in the book.
Yeah.
Well, even in dedicating it to her,
I think
right?
that's true.
Yeah, exactly. That in itself, and that also it was also interesting. But it's again, it's an area that we can only speculate on, and that we can point out. But it does make it is interesting.
Mm-hmm. Can only speculate as outsiders looking in through
What
the
a view!
book.
What a view we have. Exactly.
Yeah.
But it was a good choice, Sienna. That was your choice, I think, right?
Yep. I'm glad
Excellent
you
choice.
enjoyed
It
it.
was a good. No, it was a good choice. Excellent book.
It's definitely a good reread.
Good read. Absolutely worth a reread.
And worth another reread. I would read it millions of times over.
Have you read it? Have you read it before?
Briefly, as like when it first came out, around the
Okay.
year it first came out. I think it was like
Right.
2008.
I think it was 2008. Yeah.
Or no, it would have been a little bit after that. I would have read it in
Yeah.
2010.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was just a little bit after it came out.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't get a chance to read the whole thing at that time, but glad I did now, and definitely a reread.
Indeed. Indeed.
Definitely a reread for me.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely check out his playing if you haven't already. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah. I agree. I was blown away when I listened to that TEDx clip. Well, clip 21 minutes. I was happy that it wasn't just, I enjoyed those 21 minutes immensely.
Mm-hmm.
And I will listen to it again. I loved it. I was blown away.
Oh, absolutely. And the fact that he can, like, you can tell him play, oh, I don't know, think of a modern song off the top of your head.
Star Wars theme song.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He could play that in any different style. He could play it in, like, the genre of Bach. He could play it, like, as a tango. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, it's
There we go.
amazing.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's been a fun show tonight.
Always happy to be here, and
always been,
looking
yeah.
forward to the next one.
Yes. And McCarran, do you want to line up the schedule for this week?
Absolutely. What's coming up on the Ali Musa show, first of all?
The Ali Musa show. I gotta look into this. Well, okay, on Monday. Okay. So on Monday, we are at August the 31st, 2026. The 570 News closure here has been garnering a lot of attention and a lot of interest here. So we're gonna be joined here. I'll be joined by Dan Mahar, who is currently the co-host of the OHL podcast. And we're going to be discussing that piece. You're going to get his perspectives. And I have to say, from people that I've been talking to, I'm hearing a lot of stuff that they really miss it and things like that, and that they really miss 570 News and all that good stuff. But I think, see, Paul, and as you and I sort of know, as media sort of, what I feel like is being sort of, and I think what happens is that when you hear that from people, they're generally, the people that you hear that from generally aren't followers of media, and they just are just kind of tuning in for what they want to tune in for. And I feel like they aren't aware that, to you and I, it's like, well, you know what, this is not surprising. Whereas to them, it's like, well, this is something important lost.
Yeah, I think you called it right there, Ali. It's like, because you and I are, I don't want to sound too much in the ballpark type of thing attitude, but we're a little closer to it. So we read a lot more about these kind of things, and we've seen, the landscape has changed a lot in the past number of years. Media organizations that are making cuts here and there, they're always cutting and cutting and cutting. They're not adding. That's a rare thing. So that it leads to this, and people don't always follow it. And they find out something is gone. They notice, oh, gee, that's really too bad. It's like finding out your favorite restaurant that you haven't gone to in a number of years is closing after 25 years. Oh, gee whiz, I remember I used to go there all the time. You go there one last time for one good meal. So it's like, that's the same to people. I want to tune in one last time to hear, remember that show years ago you listened to. Some people, for a lot of people, that's what it's like. We're losing one more voice that we could have. And it's just the nature of media now.
Yep.
For better or for worse.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, too, is that they're not in... See, and that's another thing. With the cuts, they aren't replacing it with anything, and they're not innovating either in that sense either. It's just they're cutting, and either they replace it with syndication or whatever to try and save money, and then eventually just, oh, okay, we're going to shut it down. Kind of thing. That's really what we've seen here. And Makara, we have a show coming up as well.
We do, in fact, also on Monday the 31st. This will be at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. The Ali and Makara show is back, and we will be discussing Talking as Fast as I Can, From Gilmore Girls to Gilmore Girls and Everything in Between by Lauren Graham.
I feel like it's been a long time since the Ali and Makara show has returned.
And didn't Lauren Graham write another book that we did on the panel? And I can't remember.
Oh, someday maybe. I think it was.
Someday maybe. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why her name sounded familiar. I'm like, wait a minute. Yes, we have read one of her books before.
Yes.
Lauren Graham from the Gilmore Girls. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to discussing that one. It's almost that time of year where the rewatch starts of Gilmore Girls. It's very autumnal.
It is. The scenery is set that way in Stars Hollow. Yes, I watched it too.
That is my comfort show.
It is. We should do one day. We should discuss. We should discuss the flaws and the positives of that show. That's. I think that'd be an excellent topic. Excellent topic for a program. What is good and what is not so good?
You don't want to get me started.
Oh, okay, you guys can run that show. If you do that show, I'll let you guys run it, okay?
and then we'll talk how that affects how the Gilmore Girls affects the media landscape in Canada. We can find a way to tie it in somehow.
Okay, perfect. Okay, then I'll come in.
You know what? I am here for it, though. I would happily discuss its
pluses and minuses.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would be up for that. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did want to mention as well for Textravaganza.
Hey,
if
we
I
have an
may
extra
give
coming up
Textrava-
next week.
Please.
We have an
yes.
extra coming up next week. Yes, we do. And I'm just actually looking in the reminders for that to see what it is we're doing. But for the afternoons, we have we're looking at text. We're looking at productivity using AI for productivity and creativity. And that's going to be kind of an interesting topic, one that we don't usually have on Textravaganza. So it's a really niche kind of topic because anybody can learn from it. Because when AI is used, if used correctly, it can really be helpful. And so that's going to be the topic for the evenings or for the afternoons session on Wednesday, September the 2nd. How is it September already? Could someone please explain it to me?
Easily.
Explain
Winter,
it to me,
I know.
Lucy.
summer flies.
Yes,
Winter walks. Okay, that's all. That's all it is. All right.
I love it. I love it. And so taking a look here at Textravaganza Extra, I'm just looking at the reminders here. I'm just going to, if you don't mind, I'm just going to. There we go. Let's see. Textravaganza Extra is what I'm looking at. And yes, we do have, I believe so, we do have for the evenings, the WhatsApp tutorial it'll be WhatsApp on the PC because yes, you can use WhatsApp on the computer. And our Textravaganza Extra, for some reason I'm not seeing the reminder here for it.
No, that's okay. That's all right.
But there is going to be a Textravaganza Extra. And for those of you who are following the newsletter, that'll be on Friday from 7 to 9. And
if you're not following that newsletter, please just go ahead and check it out, or tell us, and we'll add you.
Support at textravaganza.ca. And there will be an extra coming up.
Let's see.
So stay tuned, folks. And what's our next book, Makara, for next month?
That'll be, this recommendation comes to us direct from, in fact, one of our Textravaganza participants, Maxwell Crawford, and it was Star Wars, Padawan's Pride. And that is by Brian Q. Miller. And that'll be on September the 25th, I believe.
Excellent.
Oh my goodness.
Brian
how
Q.
time
Miller.
just
Where's the time
flies.
going here, man?
Honestly.
Oh boy.
Too much time on the book panel. That's what I'm thinking.
Ah.
I gotta
Only
tell
when
you
the
guys.
books panels fly by.
I know it's a time well spent, guys. But that's what you're all wondering. Where did time go?
Oh, yeah.
Think about it. We spend about 12 hours of our lives every year on the books panel. Okay.
Oh, I know.
I mean, this is where the time goes, guys.
It only feels like 12 seconds, though. What the heck?
It does.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say that. Yeah. That sounds
And
good.
It's 12 hours, but it feels like 12 seconds.
Yeah, I just realized there's 12 panels a year here.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not even something I
Right.
think about.
No, only 12, Makira. Only 12. But no, it's always, you know what? And anybody listening here, that was a joke about McCary taking over the network. That's not going to happen.
Yes, of course.
Sure. Watch. Next book panel. Hi, this is Makara Slavodia here at the book panel. And my co-host. It's either going to be Sienna or myself. And many thanks to our tech producer, Ali Musa.
Sowing the seeds of doubt here, Paul.
No, hey guys, we know how both Ali and I know the media business. Know something about media. We know how these things go. It's all.
Oh, you know exactly.
There we go.
By the way, I am joking. Watch this. You're all going. No, everyone's going. Is he?
Yeah,
Russian?
No.
What have I started?
Oh wow, you would be a good comedian.
Absolutely. I just get immediately canceled off of this.
Wow. Okay.
You know what though? It's fun.
It is.
I love the panels because we get to, have the banter as well, and it means a lot.
See, you see, and just kind of to wrap that whole thing up, the whole 570 News thing, Paul. When that shut down, the very next day, what I started to, because I wanted the same sort of format. So nowadays in the morning, I just tune to 680 News.
Exactly.
I realize I'm getting Toronto stuff, but it doesn't matter as long I'm getting what I need to know.
Exactly. Correct. You are absolutely correct on that one.
I tried the others. I tried what CKWR is trying to do. I tried CBC Kitchener. I don't like it as much.
Precisely. Yeah, exactly.
Join us in September.
And just a reminder, I remind you of this every time, but there's no harm in doing it again. Subscribe to the Books Panel YouTube channel if you have not already, as well as the others for the shows, and subscribe to the newsletters at themusaslobodiannetwork.ca. That's how you stay up to date with all of the shows. And thank you all for another wonderful Books Panel.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Pleasure.